Ladies and gentlemen, August 9th, 2025 will be remembered as the day the game changed. President Donald J. Trump has just pulled off his 17th consecutive Supreme Court victory in a row without a single loss. That's 17-0. And this one, guys, this wasn't just another win. This was the legal green light to do what no president before him had the courage, the strategy, or the backbone to do. Unleash the full force of the United States military on the foreign drug cartels flooding our streets with poison. Now, think about that, guys. For years, these cartels have operated with impunity, moving fentanyl by the truckload, killing 100,000 Americans a year, partnering with the greatest adversaries, our greatest adversaries, guys, and laughing at our border security. Well, today, that laughing stops because the highest court in the land just said, yes, Mr. President, you have the authority. Go get them. So here's the real twist that nobody in mainstream media will tell you. This ruling doesn't just change the border fight. It changes the balance of power between the presidency, the courts, and America's enemies. And the people who hate Trump the most, oh, they're terrified right now because they know exactly what's coming next. So stick with me because today I'm going to break down how Trump's legal wins and his winning streak shattered every record in modern presidential history, the inside details of the Supreme Court case and what this really means for military action, why Mexico's leaders are panicking, and why Trump is not blinking, the real stakes in this fentanyl war, and how this move could save tens of thousands of American lives every single year. And of course, the one upcoming Supreme Court decision that could send shockwaves through every immigration debate in America. Guys, by the end of this one, you're going to know exactly why the 17th victory might be the most consequential of President Trump's presidency and why his enemies are already scrambling to try to stop him before it's too late. If you appreciate the news updates, click the like button and subscribe. I really do appreciate your support. 17 straight victories, guys. That's not a baseball score. That's not a football stat. That is the record President Donald J. Trump just set in the United States Supreme Court. Since April, case after case has gone before the highest court in the land, and Trump has not lost a single one. Folks, no other president in modern history, not Bush, not Obama, not Biden, none of those guys have ever pulled off this kind of high court dominance. And so this latest win, this is not just another notch in his belt. This is a strategic turning point with real world consequences. This is not about a policy tweak or a budget fight, right? This is about the Supreme Court giving the president of the United States the legal power to take the fight directly to the foreign drug cartels that have been killing our people for decades. And so here's where the tension comes in. Some say this proves the system is finally working for the American people, finally clearing the roadblocks so that we can defend ourselves. Others are saying it's the most dangerous consolidation of power in decades. So which is it, guys? This is exactly what we're going to find out today as we kind of like look at this, peel everything back layer by layer. All right. So trust me, by the time you hear what the 17th case actually allows Trump to do, you're going to understand why his enemies are panicking. They're panicking behind closed doors tonight. So let's rewind just for a second, because you can't really understand the magnitude of this victory unless you understand the war that's been going on in the courts for years. Now, from the moment that Trump stepped back into the Oval Office, progressive lower court judges and political operatives, they've been using every legal trick in the book to try to block him. Federal injunctions, they've been slapped on his policies faster than any president in modern history. In fact, in just 6 months, Trump has faced more federal injunctions than Bush faced in 8 years, more than Obama faced in 8 years, and more than Biden faced in 4 years combined. And these weren't just isolated rulings. Under Biden, the activist judiciary perfected the weapon of nationwide injunctions, where a single judge in a single district could block the president's policy for the entire country. It was lawfare at a national stage. It was ridiculous. It didn't make any sense. And they were just literally cheating. But just a few months ago, the Supreme Court said, yes, the same court now delivering Trump win after win stepped in and said enough. They effectively shut down the abuse of universal injunctions. And that decision didn't just slow down the left's legal warfare. It stopped whole categories of cases dead in their tracks. Now, under Biden, the border was wide open. Cartels were emboldened. The courts were used to try and handcuff the very people that were sworn to protect you. But under Trump, shoot, the legal handcuffs are now off. The rulings are stacking up in his favor, and today's decision just gave him the green light for one of the most aggressive national security operations in modern history. Now, this brings us to the 17th case. This is the one that puts foreign cartels directly in Trump's crosshairs. Now, if you're feeling squeezed, you're not alone. It's not just the economy, but this is why I partner with Chapter. I help people find extra breathing room, right? By sending them to Chapter's way, because Chapter, they are experts at doing this, guys. Chapter helps people find extra breathing room in their budget. Look at Cecil Frith, for example. He said his $166 per month Medicare savings, it felt like a sweet raise on Social Security. And Frances Latiro, she is saving $65 a month. This is almost $800 a year. Now, I don't know about you, but in times like this, every dollar matters, okay? Chapter compares every available plan, finds the best one for you, and never charges for your help. Now, you might think that your plan is good, or you might think your plan is good enough until you see what you're leaving on the table. Now, don't be like everybody else, leaving all this extra money on the table. Call them right now. Phone numbers down below, and see how much you could possibly be getting back. Call them right now. Phone number is 909-563-8279, or visit them on the web at askchapter.org/Ron. See how much money you can save. So here's what went down in the Supreme Court's 17th consecutive ruling for Trump. The justices affirmed that the president of the United States has the constitutional authority to use military force against foreign criminal organizations if they're designated as terrorist threats to the American people. Well, let that sink in, guys. We're not talking about advisors at the border or just beefing up the Coast Guard. This ruling means Trump can send the United States military, our special forces, our naval assets, our drones into action against cartels operating outside U.S. borders. Wow. No more months of courtroom delays, no more activist judges blocking it from the bench. The Supreme Court just said the Constitution already gives you this power. Use it. Whoo! Game over, guys. You know exactly what this means. The Sinaloa Cartel, the Jalisco New Generation Cartel, every network moving fentanyl from Chinese suppliers into American cities, they are now legally fair game for the full force of the U.S. military. But this isn't just about dropping bombs or sending in SEAL teams. This is about deterrence, making every cartel boss in Mexico, Venezuela, or anywhere else think twice before trafficking poison into the United States. And make no mistake, this wasn't about some abstract constitutional theory. The court's majority opinion spelled out that these operations can be conducted without the universal injunction roadblocks that tied Trump's hands in the first term and under Biden's watch. This is a practical green light, not just a symbolic one. So this is where the game plan changes. Now, for years, Washington politicians, they told you, hey, we can't secure the border. The truth is, though, you can. You can only play defense for so long, okay? Trump's making the shift from guarding the gate to hunting the threat before he even reaches the gate. Big difference. Sources very close to the administration are saying that the CIA has already been flying surveillance drones deep into cartel territory, mapping out the compounds, the stash houses, the trap houses, smuggling routes. I mean, the groundwork has been laid for months. And with the Supreme Court's ruling, Trump's designation of these cartels as foreign terrorist organizations isn't just a label anymore. It is the legal trigger for action. So once you're on that list, the gloves come off. Drone strikes on cartel leadership, special forces raids to capture or eliminate high-value targets, maritime interdictions in the Pacific and Gulf of Mexico to seize drug shipments before they hit U.S. shores. It's no longer wait until they cross the border. It's take them out at the source. And this is exactly why this ruling has Mexico's political class on edge right now. While Mexico's president talks about Trump's position is crystal clear, America's security comes first. And if you won't deal with the threat in your own backyard, we will. So right on cue, Mexico's president stepped up to the microphone to say, no way. No U.S. military action inside Mexican territory, no matter what the target is. Now, on paper, that sounds like protecting sovereignty. But in reality, that sovereignty has been shredded for years by the cartels themselves. Now, here's the truth. Vast stretches of northern Mexico, they're not governed by Mexico City at all. They're run by armed cartel factions who collect taxes, enforce their own laws, and execute anybody who steps out of line. These areas are effectively foreign hostile zones right on our doorstep. And yet, when President Trump says, if you want to eliminate these terrorists, we will, the pushback isn't aimed at the cartels, it's aimed at America. Now, Trump's answer, Americans first, every time. It's not about disrespecting Mexico. It's about defending the lives of U.S. citizens. If your family was under attack and your neighbor said, sorry, you can't come here to stop the attacker, you wouldn't just stand there, would you? You would do whatever you would do whatever is needed to be done, right? And so make no mistake, this is not about grandstanding. The intelligence is there. The operational capacity and capability is there. And after this Supreme Court decision, the legal authority is locked in. But that brings us to why this isn't just a geopolitical chess match. It's a war that's already killing Americans every single day. Now, I want to go ahead and cut through the noise. 100,000 Americans are dying every year from overdoses. The majority is from fentanyl. This isn't coming from random street dealers. It's coming from highly organized, well-financed cartels working hand in hand with Chinese suppliers. Think about it, 100,000 deaths a year. That is more than Vietnam, more than the Iraq and Afghanistan wars combined. And it's happening on American soil without a single shot being fired from an enemy army. Now, under Biden's presidency, the numbers exploded. 4 years of border chaos gave the cartels their heyday. Record profits, record shipments, record deaths. But under Trump now, the approach is different. This isn't being treated as a public health issue, okay? This is being treated as what it really is. It is a national security emergency. And the fentanyl crisis isn't just about addicts. It's about communities hollowed out, families destroyed, and law enforcement overwhelmed. It's about children finding pills disguised as candy. It's about small towns watching entire generations disappear. That's why this 17th Supreme Court victory matters. Because without the ability to take the fight directly to the cartels, we're left playing whack-a-mole inside our own borders, and the moles are winning. So Trump's plan now, make it so costly, so dangerous, so expensive, so immediate for these cartels to operate that they're forced to change their entire business model or be wiped out completely. Now, here's the ugly truth most politicians won't touch. We can't just fight the cartels overseas if we're giving them safe havens inside our own country. Take Aurora, Colorado. Earlier this year, a Venezuelan gang member from the cartel connected to Tren de Aragua forced his way into an apartment during a domestic dispute. Now, inside were 2 women and 5 children. He shot both women, killing one, critically injuring the other in front of those kids. Here's the kicker. Colorado is a sanctuary state. That means local officials are restricted from cooperating with ICE, even when it comes to violent criminals. In fact, in some cases, deputies have been punished for helping the federal agents. Now, under Biden, this kind of insanity was brushed off as compassion, but under Trump, it's being called what it is. It is a betrayal of public safety. His administration is making it very clear. If you harbor violent cartel-linked criminals, you will lose federal cooperation and you may face federal consequences. Because what's the point of taking out cartel leadership overseas if their foot soldiers are hiding in plain sight here in American cities? Trump's strategy is a 2-front war. Strike them at the source and strip away every safe zone that they've carved out here at home. So make no mistake, not everybody on the Supreme Court's happy with this new direction. 3 justices, Sonia Sotomayor, Elena Ketanji Brown Jackson, have voted against Trump in almost every single one of these cases. It's been predictable, almost mechanical. No matter the constitutional merits, no matter the stakes for national security, they side with the political opposition. That's not judicial independence. That is partisan warfare wearing some judge robes. And yet, case after case, they're losing. The majority of the court has been siding with the Constitution as written, affirming that the president does have the power to defend his nation decisively. So this 17th victory wasn't just a win for Trump. It was a message to every activist judge in the country. Your era of blocking national security policy with the stroke of a pen is over. And here's the real tension point for the audience. If the court hadn't shut down these activists, today's green light for military action against cartel would have never happened. This is the thin margin that we've been operating on. And it's why every single ruling in this streak has mattered. So the ink was barely dry on the Supreme Court's decision before the political firestorm began. Democrats wasted no time. Cable news hosts, party leaders, activist groups all rolled out the same talking points. This is dangerous militarization. This is authoritarianism. This is Trump abusing power. But here's what they will not admit. Those same voices stayed silent when 100,000 Americans died last year from fentanyl overdoses. They stayed silent when sanctuary cities shielded violent gang members. They stayed silent when the cartel influence spread like wildfire across our southern border. Republicans and millions of independents are now seeing this for what it is. It's the first real decisive hope in the war on cartels in decades. A president who isn't just talking about solutions, but is actually stacking legal victories, dismantling activist roadblocks, and moving directly against the organizations responsible for this crisis. So here's the part where you decide. Do you want an America where we wait for cartel poison to hit our streets and hope local police can contain it? Or do we want an America where we take the fight to the enemy before they can even strike us? That's not a rhetorical question, guys. I want to hear your answers down below. And look and see in the comments what other people are saying. That's the choice that this ruling puts on the table. 17 straight victories, every single one advancing President Trump's ability to secure the nation in the courts, at the borders, and now beyond it. The latest win isn't just it's not another case to file away. It is the blueprint for how America First works in real time. So break the chokehold of activist judges, affirm the constitutional power to defend the country, target the threats at their source before they can target us. And so here's what you need to remember. This isn't the end of the streak. There are more rulings coming, including one on the constitutionality of birthright citizenship that could reshape immigration debate for a generation. The mission is greenlit. The intelligence is ready. The legal barriers are gone. For the first time in decades, America is no longer waiting for threats to reach our streets. We're stopping them at the source. 17 wins in, and the fight is just getting started. YouTube believes you're really going to enjoy the next video that it's suggesting right now, and I think that they're right. Click that video, and you're going to see exactly how these victories fit into Trump's larger plan to secure America once and for all. Click that video. I'll see you on the other side.